What you're about to hear is a conversation with one of the greatest runners of our time and potentially the fastest runner in the world in the 5K, 10K, half marathon distances. He's the European record holder in all three of those distances, and he set all of those records in this past year. This guy's an absolute stud. His name is Andreas Almgren, and he's coming for it all, and his training is out of this world. In today's conversation, you're going to hear about how many miles he runs in a week, what his specific workouts look like, what his nutrition is, what his gym sessions are, how he recovers and manages to stay healthy amidst running close to 130 miles a week and multiple workouts a week and gym sessions, and his mindset to carry this incredible load of work while also having his mind fixed on records, fixed on medals. I love my conversations with Andreas. It is so rare that you will find one of the fastest runners in the world to open up this much and to this extent. He's an open book. He's never rejected a single question I've ever asked him. And so if you're an incredibly serious runner looking to take your running to the next level, or you're someone who's just interested in the sport, has run a 5K occasionally, or someone who just studies the sport for fun, is a fan of the sport, this conversation is for you. You all are going to deeply enjoy it. And if you do, hit the follow button, because we have conversations with people like this every other day on the podcast. Give us a 5-star review if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Takes next to no time. And share this podcast with a friend, a family member, a teammate, someone who you think would find value and benefit from it. My last resource for you, completely free. We have a newsletter, a state-of-the-art newsletter, The Rundown by The Running Effect, that equips you with the tools to race better, to train better, to live a better life. It is completely free, comes out every Thursday, and it's always linked in the show notes. Without further ado, enjoy this conversation with the absolute legend. I can sure say these words, the man, the myth, the legend, Andreas Almgren. Ladies and gentlemen, he should probably have a property on The Running Effect at this point with how often he's coming back on the podcast. But it's because he, every month it seems like he's running a crazy performance that the whole world is talking about. Andreas, welcome back to the podcast. How you doing, man?
Thanks a lot. I'm doing good. Started to be kind of late here in Spain, but it feels nice. It's good to be back.
What has we talk every few months at this point. It's your third time on the podcast. But what's the whirlwind of emotion? If I talked to you a year ago, you look at the performances you've ran over the last year, you've upgraded. Entirely new individual over the last year. What's it been like living in this new reality?
Yeah, running wise, I have a lot more confidence now compared to a year ago. I mean, 1 year ago, I broke my first European record in the 10K in Valencia. But that was kind of like just a sit and kick race for me. And I managed to win it and get the European record. And now it's like putting all the cards on the table. Yeah, I'm going for the record. I'm in the best shape of my life. And then just taking it on from about 3Ks in. So front running almost like the last 7K. And yeah, it says something like when you cross the finish line in 26:45 and you feel like it was okay. It's not really what I was hoping for, but it was a good race.
What were you hoping for?
I think that if I could get a little bit better pace job, I think I could get closer to the 26:30s low, somewhere around there. Because it's so hard to front run for such a long time. But it's also knowing that I can basically front run at 26:45. It's quite a good confidence boost.
Yeah, the last calendar year you ran 26:45, as we were talking about, 12:44 for the 5K and 58:41 for the half marathon. 3 European records in 1 calendar year. I don't know what the record is for most records set in a calendar year. I assume that's up there, at least for the distance events. When I've definitely asked you this question before, but when you think about your best event, where do you feel like that lies?
I think it should be the 10 at the moment, at least. I think that's the event where I can handle the most type of races. I could be pretty good in a sit and kick race, and I can be very good in a race that's from the gun basically. So I think the 10 is probably the best one so far. For the 5K, I'm obviously very good at time trialing type of races, but then if you're facing someone like Cole Hocker or Jakob in their best shape, it's quite hard to beat them in the last lap.
And with this year, no World Championships, no Olympic Games, is it just Andreas Almgren versus the Diamond League coming for it all, or how have you viewed this year, sitting down with your coach, kind of planning it out? What are those big goals, opportunities, and races on your mind?
So obviously I want to run fast times. In the 5K, I hope to be able to dip under 12:40. I feel like I'm in a lot better place now than I was at this point last year. But then also for us Europeans, we have the European Championships this summer. And I've never been on the top of a podium. So that's something that I'm aiming for. But the problem is that like the European running scene is quite good right now, with obviously like the world champion Jimmy Gracier in the 10K, and then we have a lot of other very good runners. So it's not going to be easy, but trying to get the gold in the European Championships is probably my main goal. And then we have a few other races. I'm not really sure what I'm targeting right now, because like we have the Ultimate Championships coming up, but like the week after is also the World Road Running Championships with a half marathon. I think it's hard to maybe target both, like doing both a probably sit and kick 5K and a fast half marathon. So I'll probably target one of those as well.
Last time we talked, it was after the World Championships. I think you still had the half marathon in Valencia, if I'm not mistaken. I'm always get confused because there's the Valencia half marathon and then there's a 10K in Valencia. So when you're racing both, it can get confusing. But it was after the World Championships, before the Valencia half, where you ended up running the European record. And then you said after you're going to go to New York, kick the feet up, actually take a break. Was it nice to finally take a break? And what do you feel like that did for you after such a long season to kind of reset things?
Yeah, it was it was really nice. Just walk around New York and eat and drink very very nice things. Just recharge. It's like I like, even though when I have off season, I like to be out running a bit, but it's nice to not have like a full schedule. So you don't have to do like the workouts every other day and prepare for that. Just like today, I can stay out and have a few beers. It's such a nice change of pace. And actually just going out for like a social run, that's really nice, because I met up, obviously when you're in New York and there's New York Marathon weekend, there are so many of your like running friends that are there, that's there. So like going out for a jog in Central Park, and you meet for like friends all the time. You just stop and chat, and you stop and have a coffee somewhere, and someone's like, oh, do you want to go come with me for a bagel? It's like, oh yeah, sure. Just like sit there in Upper West Side and having a bacon, egg and cheese bagel and sitting in the sunshine. It's like, this is nice.
Yeah. What was your favorite meal while you were there?
Ooh. Like I had a really nice it was basically the first meal there actually, so it's maybe because that was the only time I was really hungry. But we had like a really nice like American diner brunch. So I like both like eggs Benedict and a caramel French toast kind of thing. So it's like with the American portion sizes. We were quite full for quite some time after that.
You're currently training in the Sierra Nevada mountains out there in Spain. I'm sure you have other people around you, but it's obviously you could consider it isolated compared to New York City. Is it funny viewing kind of the professional running contrast, where it's like, one moment off season you're in one of the busiest cities in the world, and then the next it's like this sort of running breeds this sort of like lone wolf mentality. Even if you're in a training group, running is kind of an individualistic sport. Is it funny to think back on the contrast?
Yeah, but it's like this is like the everyday work. Like the New York thing is just like, it doesn't happen that often. But yeah, it's very big contrasts. It's like you're in such a routine series. Basically, just eat, train, and sleep. And we've had such a bad weather this winter, so it's a lot of treadmills and just you and your thoughts. Like just try to keep going. but it's quite nice to just be back in the wheel and just focus on yeah, what you're trying to achieve this summer. It's obviously nice when you have a record like quite recently, so you can have that as kind of a motivation. Uh, but yeah, it's not the most fun place to be right now.
Before talking about some of the present day training and subjects, I think a lot of young athletes who are listening today, I hear it quite frequently. The dedicated athletes, I think a lot of times struggle to take a break or see value in it. As someone who, went to New York City in years past, has taken structured breaks, I think it's something that professional runners do a really good job of is they know when to rest. Even if they want to keep training, they know how to rest. Even collegiately, I think NCAA runners have this almost ego or pride or lack of experience where they might not race well at the NCAA championships, and then they'll just kind of like keep training through indoor season, outdoor season. Outdoor season doesn't go well, they'll just go right into cross country season or extend their outdoor season. For you, what do you see the value in a break, and what would you say to a younger athlete that actually having the patience and the humility to rest is ultimately what's best for you sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, what you're trying to do is like optimize like over a whole year. So it's like if you're not having a break and that makes you just perform at 50% for the whole year, then it's not going to be optimal for you. For me, like having a break, it's obviously a bit physical, but mostly just mental, to just not be so locked in all the time. Um, because when you're a professional athlete, it's for me right now. Last week I ran 206 kilometers, so I guess that's like 128 miles or 125 miles or something. And it's like two runs uh, every day of the week, and to just do that like every week for 10 years, you will be burned out. So it's good to have like a few weeks to just feel motivated to being go into the grind again. And I also know that like resting or taking a break for 2 or 3 weeks, it's not gonna affect me that much. I think it took like one getting back into it week, and then 2 full weeks, and I was basically back in the same shape as when I started. And then a few weeks later, I broke the European record. So it's not that you're losing your shape. It's a lot worse to not be recovered and then get injured and then having to do cross training for 3 months.
Is it almost as much of a mental break as it is a physical one?
Yeah, I say more of a mental. It's like unless you have a like big injury or you're feeling like really fatigued, then it's like mostly just mental. For me, I felt quite good after Valencia half, but I had raced every month for a whole year except from May. So from December of 2024 till October of 2025, I raced like every month. Uh, so I just needed the break to just recharge and don't feel like I need to focus on recovery and performing every day.
You kind of walked me through this, but going into it at a greater depth, you take your break. You said you kind of ran a few days in New York, socially, whatever, not too seriously when you wanted to. What's the process? You kind of said you're running 125 to 128 miles a week. I'm no expert in kilometers, unfortunately, embarrassingly enough. So I'll take your word for it. How long does it take to get back up to that point? Are you hopping into training pretty fast, can ramp up because your body's used to that over time, or do you gradually kind of progress into it?
Um, it it depends a bit, but for me, like I had such a good preparation for Valencia half, and then the week after, during my break, I I almost run like 100K, and I assume that's like
60 miles.
65,
Yeah.
68,
Yeah.
65 miles, something like that. Yeah. And then so like the week after that, I maybe ran like 150, 40K or something. And when I've done that, it's like I haven't let my body like totally lose the adaptations. So I went up to, let's say, probably like 110 miles my first week back because I was still kind of in it. And then I'm back at my 120 plus miles weeks. Um, I don't know if I should recommend it to everyone, but it's like I
Well,
have
real
done,
quick,
yeah,
you'd say you would do that because in some way the different progression has been you've been consistent over the years and you've progressed up until that point. If you were
yeah,
15 years old trying to be great, it would look wildly
yeah,
different. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I was stacking up 120 miles a week, 20 miles a week for, yeah, like every week between the Worlds and Valencia. So I had that pretty fresh in me. And I know since I've documented basically every training I've done for the last 8 years, I know kind of what kind of progression my body can handle. So it was no problem for me getting back into it.
Did you feel any pressure or rush to get in sort of European record 10K shape for Valencia 10K, or did it kind of come naturally with time?
Um, I don't say I feel any pressure. I kind of know what I need to do to be able to perform decently well. It's like since I'm running such a high mileage, um, I don't feel that I lose that much, like going down in mileage for like a few weeks before that type of race. So it's like when I have my race specific weeks before Valencia 10K, I still run like 105, 110 miles almost. um, so um, even though I'm losing mileage compared to my base training, I'm still running more than I'd say most of my opponents. So I feel like being a good race shape, I'm still in like a good base training phase. Um, but let's just say like I know real what I need to do to perform. And standing on the start line in Valencia, I knew I was in extremely good shape. I had a few workouts that were quite insane, to be honest. So I knew I had something special in me.
Tell me some of them, if you can.
Um, I must start with saying it was with a bike pace indoors, and that's a little bit of a cheat code.
Hey,
It's
times are times. I couldn't do
Yeah,
it.
so yeah, I did a 3 by 3K with 3 minutes rest, 2 weeks out at I think it was 7:59.6, and then 7:52.9, and then closed the last one in 7:43.7 or something. And it
You guys
didn't
how
feel
crazy
like
that
an all
is.
out. Yeah, I would say like if I remove my time, it would have been a Swedish indoor record, the last rep. And then 2 weeks out, it went kind of viral, I think, on on Instagram.
10 by
Uh,
1K.
10 by 1K, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was 10 by 1K, 1 minute rest, and I averaged 2:33 something. Closed in 2:28. Um, I think I had like a 2:31 average or something for the last five. Um, so yeah, it was a good one.
And I had recently a podcast guest. I'm forgetting who, but we were kind of just talking about the sport as a whole. I do so many podcasts. I'm forgetting who it was, but they brought up your name out of the blue in that session, and it's just funny. Like I know a lot of professional runners train hard. It seems like your name is getting brought up more and more. And the thing I like about your story is like you're not some 20-year-old. Like I just had on Sam Ruth on the podcast. Have you seen this kid?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
it's
Australian.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he just ran 145. He's 16, 145 and 353 in the mile. He just
yeah,
ran
that's
353 in
insane.
the mile a few days ago. But a kid like that, it's kind of like the Jakob Ingebrigtsen story of sorts, where you've always been good, running these crazy
Mm.
times. And I love Sam. If he's listening, shout out Sam. I think he has a big career ahead of him, but it's kind of predictable. Someone like that, where he's going to be talked about for the next 10 years. Someone like you, I didn't hear your name till last year, and it's kind of cool to see someone who's been in the sport for a long time start to get some praise and recognition. As I don't know, you could say this last year of sorts was this like second career evolution. What's that been like for you? Where I'm sure to you, you're like, I've kind of always worked hard, but it's just starting to click, and it's funny that people are now
Yeah.
starting to talk about me and my workouts and work ethic.
Now it feels like I finally get to show like my potential. Because I mean, I was pretty good when I was young. I got the bronze medal at the World Junior Championships in 800 meters, and that was like my first year as like only focusing on running because I played football like soccer in Sweden up until I was 18 years old. Was in like the Swedish youth national team and had to kind of choose what sport I want to focus on. So I'd say I had quite a good potential. Yeah,
You got the
running.
the soccer haircut, by the way. That makes sense. You look like you'd be a soccer star.
Yeah, yeah, you can take the football player away from the like the soccer player away from the soccer field, but not yeah. But yeah, but then it's like it wasn't until I was 25 that I really started focusing on the more endurance, long distance training, and that takes time to build. Um, so I just like gradually become better, and just realize like basically the longer I run, the better it gets almost. Because I ran my first 10K as a 28 years old, yeah, like 2 years ago. Um, so it's like just really nice that it's finally clicking. Uh, but yeah, it's been a few hard years when you just struggle and get injured and you don't get the results you want. So just like enjoying it now that when everything just works.
In the grand scheme of how much you know, I mean, I know you've trained with Jakob Ingebrigtsen before. Do you feel like your training is up there for hardest training you've seen out there? It seems like, I mean, the numbers you're throwing out there and the workouts you're throwing out there, it seems like you're one of the guys who trains the hardest.
I don't know. I think basically everyone at the top trains as hard as they possibly can. It's like I think it would like be naive to say like, "Yo, yeah, I'm the hardest working people person out there." It's like, yeah, no one wants it more than me, and I think everyone wants it. It's just I found a way that works for me, and I know I run a lot, and I run a lot with control. I don't think that there are a lot of 10K, 5K runners that runs this type of mileage during base training. But I feel like it makes me handle the hard workouts in the race preparation part a lot better. Like when I did those 10 by 1K, I obviously felt quite tired the day after. But the day after that, I was back at a double threshold running 34K, so was that like 21 miles that day. And I think like if I don't have the base that I built, I wouldn't be able to do that type of training. Um, so I found a way that works for me.
That 34K, 21 miles, is that in threshold work or is that total miles
So
on the day?
total miles on a day.
Yeah,
So I'd say it's like 22Ks of threshold work. Um,
like 13 miles, 12 miles.
yeah, yeah, I think more like 14, 15 ish.
Okay.
Yeah, 14
Man, we
maybe.
need an official translator. Kilometers to miles, miles to kilometers.
Yeah.
um, that pace, what are you generally running that amount of miles at for like threshold repeats, double threshold?
Yeah, so in the morning I usually do 6 by 6 minutes. Um, and I'd say it's around 251-ish minutes per kilometers. So like 21 k's per hour on a treadmill. And then in the afternoon or the evening with the 400, I'll do 400s with 30 seconds rest. And if I do them like all by myself, like on an indoor track, basically it's like 63 and a half maybe. Um, Before Valencia half, I did one of those with a bike pace, and then I averaged like 62.7 or something. Um, so
You're crazy, man. For all the Americans, 251 per K is roughly 435 per mile. So that was like faster than my high school PR in the mile. So I can't even fathom doing it for repeats.
yeah.
Double threshold. Are you a? I mean, I know you're a believer because you do it, but like, do you think if an athlete implemented it into their training the right way, that they'd see substantial gains if they hadn't done it before?
Um, if you're going for the long distances, I think you would benefit from it. But I say like the major thing is not just doing the double threshold, it's just what it enables you to do later in the season when you're preparing for the actual races. And like some of the threshold works are obviously quite good. I mean, when I do those 400s, it's basically 10K pace. So those become quite race specific. But I said those like 6 minute repeats I do in the morning, they are quite far away from 10K pace or 5K pace. But it just builds such a good engine and yeah, what you can do aerobically. So you can just recover from the training and then do a lot of race specific training when it really matters. Because like before Tokyo and the World Champs, I didn't do a double threshold for like 6 weeks or something before that. It was just like a little bit of threshold just to try to maintain it, not lose it too much. But then it was basically just race specific 10K pace, 5K pace, pace changes, kick training, those kind of things. But I could do that 3 or 4 times per week.
What are you eating? You know, when you're training this much, and do you have any help with nutrition, chef? I don't know, any sort of help, or like someone telling you what to eat, how much to eat. I imagine you're burning ridiculous amount of calories. I can't even fathom how much you'd have to eat to even break even. So tell me about some of the nutrition aspect of things.
Yeah, so obviously it's a lot of carbs.
Yeah.
So a lot of pasta and rice and yeah, it's like a lot of, I'd say, white meat like chicken, white fish, those kind of stuff because I feel like my body can digest it a little bit better. It's like having a big steak before a threshold workout doesn't really work.
Too much
Just
iron.
sits there in the stomach. But then also I'm sponsored by Morton, like the sports drinks company, and that helps me a lot. It's very easy digestible carbs you can get in, and they help me also a lot with like the overall nutrition part. And I've also had some help from dietitians at our Olympic Federation and our National Track and Field Association Federation. So I've had a lot of help with that. But I don't have a personal chef that cooks me the meals. That would be that's the next step.
Gotta write it into your next contract with one of these companies. Extra stipend for a personal chef. Do you ever
If,
get to the end of a long day and you're just like, oh man, I don't want to cook today?
most days.
Yeah, yeah. If you
'Cause
were, I know Europe is different than the U.S., but do you ever eat out? And if so, what are your go-to spots?
um, it's like mostly when I'm just at home training, I usually eat at home. But I have a few like recipes like that doesn't take longer than it takes to cook pasta.
Nice.
So like that's the limit. But then yeah, obviously I like to go out and eat. I was actually quite famous a few years ago in Sweden for hamburgers. um,
But switch to
yeah,
white meat.
yeah.
Abandon it.
It doesn't really work that well with the high mileage training. But I actually cooked a hamburger in Swedish television for some reason.
Wow. Why'd
Because,
you get famous?
just because I like
Like
them
them so
very much.
much? Yeah.
It was like in Sweden, must have been like 2013 or 2012 or something. It started like a big burger hype in Stockholm and then just spread throughout Sweden. there was some guy who was like working as a consultant, and then he didn't want to do that anymore, so he started a crowdfunding thing, and then he went to America and visited like all of the like really nice burger places. And then he opened his own burger place in Stockholm that started a hype. So it's like in Stockholm now, it's like a very good burger scene.
Wow.
But yeah, I'm not really that into it anymore,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Yeah,
Did you get a burger while you were in New York?
yeah.
Yeah. How was
So
it?
yeah, it was nice. Went
Yeah.
to Emily's, if you know about it. Yeah, so yeah, it was a good one. Absolutely.
Nice. What's your easiest day of training look like? Like, do you have a set day, and what's the easiest day of training look like?
Right now, it's on Fridays, and then I usually do now. Probably won't sound that easy, but 12K of running in the morning, so it's like 7 or 8 miles or something.
Mhm.
And then I do some easy plyo and then some strength work after it, and then I run 10K in the afternoon.
Crazy. So your easiest day of running is still like 14 miles.
Yeah, something like
Wow. And what's easy run pace for you?
that. So it's about I say like the easiest day are usually around 4 minute flat per K. So it's like 6:20 ish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
626 per mile.
Yeah.
And how easy does that feel to you? Like, do you know what your heart rate is at that pace?
Yeah, so I have like a maximum heart rate of like 190 ish. Then I'm usually down at 120, I'd say.
It's crazy. So crazy. And recovery, what does that look like on a daily basis? How much are you sleeping? We kind of covered nutrition, but do you use
Mhm.
Normatex or massage gun or therapist, or what does that look like for you to run such high mileage?
Yeah, so I usually use some kind of like, yeah, compression boots. I have a massage gun. Actually, I had a massage earlier today. So a lot of like, yeah, physical treatments. Um, I'm not the best sleeper. It feels like all the best athletes are like, yeah, I can sleep all the time. Every time I just close my eyes and I fall asleep, and yeah, that's not me. I try to make it as have as good as condition as possible to try to get as much sleep as possible. Like after this podcast, I will probably like shut down my like all my screens and start reading or something. Try to wind it down and try to get as much sleep as possible. But uh, I probably get somewhere between 7 and 8 hours, hopefully. Then I'll probably try to take a nap in the afternoon. Um, but it feels like I have a lot of friends who are runners who's like, oh, if I get less than 9 hours of sleep, I don't work. I can't work. It's like, fuck you.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I think a lot of runners. I mean, when you're a professional runner, it is your full-time job. So I've always been amazed and been like, I don't even think I could sleep 10 hours if I tried. Maybe I could, but it is funny the people who
I
talk about
try
it.
and I can't.
Yeah, yeah. Is it you find it hard to sleep that long, or you struggle to actually like fall asleep, or a bit of both?
No, I say I fall asleep quite fast. It's not like I close my eyes and fall asleep instantly,
Yeah.
but like within a half an hour, I usually fall asleep. But then I just wake up in the morning, and I feel I sleep quite lightly in the morning. So I usually wake up a few times in the morning and try to fall asleep.
What does a gym routine look like? Are you lifting at all in the gym? What does that look like?
Yeah, so I have on Sundays I have like my biggest lifting day. So I have a long run in the morning and then lift in the afternoon. And I have as I said earlier, on Fridays I also have um, some lifting and strength work. And then on Mondays and Wednesdays I have more of like a prehab core kind of work. So just things that I find that I kind of need to stay injury free. Um, so yeah, I'm in the gym basically 4 times per week.
last year, maybe last week went well too, but I was going to say last year went really well. Is this year more of like a replication of, same training, but the consistency, the results will be better, or are you changing anything up, last year as opposed to this year?
Um, I'm trying to switch a few things. Yeah, but like nothing really big, but it's like if I felt like I reacted very well to something, I might try to do that a little bit more. So, like for instance, I felt like I got a very good reaction from the half marathon training I did before Valencia. So I'm trying to add a little bit more of that now in the base training for the summer. Not just do the normal, 24 by 200-meter hills. That's like all the Scandinavians are talking about. So I'm doing a little bit more of a longer Saturday workout. And then obviously I was good in Tokyo, but I was only the third best kicker in that race. I got beaten by Jomif and Jimmy, so I also need to do a little bit more of that speed work to be able to win even the like slowest races. Um, Tokyo was an extreme. We'll probably never have that slow of a championship race ever again. But still,
Got to be prepared for everything.
exactly.
Um, if you could choose, like non-current people you've trained with, if you could choose three training partners for this upcoming year, you know, not Noah Lyles, but like within reference range distances that make sense for you. In an ideal world, even people you don't know who you'd be curious for them to try your training, be training partners. Three people off the top of your head, what would the dream team look like for you?
Ooh. Did you say active people or was it like?
Oh, let's do both. Let's do both. Can be active or past.
Okay. It would be very interesting to like train with Kiplimo. Feels like he would have done some insane sessions. I like Jumif. He's a really good guy, and I mean I know I can train very well with Jakob. So there we have like a trio of active people.
I love it.
Uh, if we go back in time, mm, I don't really think maybe that his training would fit me very well, but it's would have been fun to see like Mo Farah, um, um, since he was such a good championship runner. It would be fun to see how he peaked for the championships. And I mean, for me, Bekele is kind of like the 10K goat.
Hmm.
So that would also be very interesting to see. Uh, and when my idol when I was little, this is probably not the best for me right now, but my idol when I was little was Wilson Kipketer because he had the 800-meter world record, and now he lost his last world record there to Josh. Um, but to see what he could do in his prime. Uh, I mean, when he broke his first world record, he went out in 48:10 and looked so smooth.
Wow.
It's like, yeah, he could probably teach me something about speed work.
Did you ever see years back? This was when the Nike Oregon project was still in existence. Salazar was coaching Yomif Kajalcha. They did a little like mini series on YouTube.
Hmm. Yeah, before his mile world record.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah,
you saw
yeah.
that, but I thought that was, running sports media has risen in popularity, like more outlets, more stuff like. But back in the day, it was pretty unique that you'd get that sort of
Hmm.
access and like high qual. I mean, I forget the group name who did it. I think Elevation Zero Meter was the name of it. And they crushed that. And I remember he did a session. He was just
Yeah.
puking after everything, and I was like, oh my goodness, this guy's selling his soul to get through these sessions. But I think he did like 6 by 400 at like 52 or 53, and I was just like, this is insane. By himself too. I don't even think he had a pacer in those videos.
Oh, well, that's sick.
Yeah.
It's quite funny actually. Like the evening after the 10K race in Tokyo, uh, me and Yumif was actually at the hotel together eating pizza for dinner. So we've down to a restaurant, like because the main restaurant had closed, so we had to get something. It's like both of us went down and had a pizza together, and like
Nice.
yeah, every half an hour one of us had to go to the bathroom because both of us came from like the doping control and had to drink a little bit to be able to pee. So it's like, oh no, I need to pee all the time. So just like went back and forth.
Do you guys have common language? Could you converse?
He's actually quite good at English.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
so it was no problem.
Nice.
And he's a funny guy. So
Jakob, have you talked to him recently? I mean, when you were training with him, you were more trying to make it. Now you have made it. I'm sure you'd match up as. I'm sure you could push him in threshold work these days.
it was actually quite similar to him in threshold work, but he was kicking my ass in the specific work. No, I actually haven't talked with him a lot now. He was in South Africa for a bit for training camp, enjoying the heat, the warmth a little bit more. So no, I actually haven't talked with him for a while.
Speaking of, current track and field world, this upcoming weekend, the Millrose Games, I'm sure you've seen that field. Any hot takes going into that race? Big last weekend of track and field in the U.S. Cole Hawker sets the American record in the 2K, and then, a few days later, Hobbs Kessler runs 4:48 in the 2K. Grant Fisher was right behind him in that race. I think he was only a second or two back. That 2K, if you look at the entry list, which I'm sure you've seen, is I think the most stacked indoor race I can remember. You've raced a ton of those guys. Any thoughts on that race?
I must say that what I'm very impressed with what Grant did in that race, and yeah, I like Grant. He's a really good guy, and I like his mentality to just stick behind the pacer. Which, I mean, 2K is basically a sprint for him, so it's gonna be very interesting to see him in the 2 mile. I think he can do something special, absolutely.
Do you follow any of the NCAA scene? Any of those guys? If you haven't, you got to look up the name Marco Langen. Have you seen this kid?
No, I
Okay,
don't think
I'll
so.
I'll I'll send you a post race
Yeah,
interview. You'll get a good chuckle.
yeah,
Running is such a nice, polite sport. This
yeah.
kid is like he runs for Villanova. Crazy story. Like grew up without a dad, like massive chip on his shoulder. Remarkable story. Kind of like raised himself up from the ground within the sport. But guys like that, so fun. And then even you look back to current generation. Part of the reason I'm excited is Parker Wolf and Ethan Strand. I know
Mm.
both those guys really well, and their first year out of the NCAA. Last year, I don't know if you followed this, but their first race off of cross country training. So it was like an indoor 3K in December. No specific work. They ran 7:30, and
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
now I'm like,
I remember that one. Yeah.
yeah. Now I'm like with training, new coach, altitude. Ethan Strand, his kick's remarkable. I'm like, I could see any one of these guys winning. Josh Kerr, coming off his injury at the World Championships, I think it's gonna be fun. They
Yeah.
didn't they didn't give you the call up though. You could have come back to New York, man.
Yeah, we'll see. It's like I'm starting to think like since I'm obviously quite good at the road races and everything, it's like, have I done my last indoor race? It's like something that like have struck my mind. But I mean, I want to experience Milrose. It's seems like such a amazing meet, and I like indoor racing because like the audience comes so close. It can like it becomes so loud. So we'll see. If there's one meet that I want to do, it's Milrose.
Really?
Indoors. Yeah, like I've done like a few other like big European ones, but I've never raced indoors in the US.
You should
So
do again, I know you're not from the States, but there's this track, Boston University.
yeah,
Most of the
yeah.
records are set there. And there's been so many not rumors, not speculation, accusations that it's
Mm,
like a cheating track because it's just so fast, and they've had it like circled by independent organizations. It's just
mm,
so you should some point next year. They do a lot of 5Ks there. I feel like you
yeah.
could easily break 12:40. Easily is a strong word, but I have a lot of faith in you. Get the right
I'll see.
pacer, the right
If I
situation.
don't break 12:40, I might give it a shot next year.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a remarkable atmosphere. I was actually there in person last February, and like you said, because of how these indoor stadiums are kind of built, it feels like the fans are on top of the athlete. Really fun.
Yeah.
atmosphere. So we're wrapping this conversation up because you need your sleep, man. Got to recover. What advice do you have for the next generation of athletes today, going into 2026, who want to take their training and racing to the next level?
Oof. It's like I think I've given some kind of advice 2 times now. Like coming up with a third one. It's like
Okay, let's switch it. I'll switch it. For
yeah.
fans of Andreas Almgren, what can they expect in 2026? What's a note to your fans?
Let's just say I have not done my best yet. I'm already racing a new 10K in 4 weeks, and I think that's going to be something special. If the conditions are with me, um, I hope I can come close to the low 2630s there. And then of course, as I said, I want to try to break 1240. So you should expect me to take the initiative in a few Diamond League races because I want to try to run fast.
Big time.
And then I think you will see me do some fun things on the roads then later in the year as well.
Amazing. Andreas, final question for you. Winter Olympics coming up. If you were an Olympic winter athlete, what one event would you choose?
As a Swede, it's quite easy to say. It would be cross-country skiing.
You'd probably be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's basically only Sweden and Norway who does it. But like coming from an endurance sport, like cross-country skiing is the obvious choice. It would be quite a lot cooler to be a hockey player or something, but don't really have the body for that.
Does Sweden even have a national team, hockey team?
Yeah, we're actually quite good.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Basically, all our team is NHL players.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, if
So
they're listening, forget I said anything. I should probably know that. I get invested in Winter Olympics like when it starts, and then I figure out like who's who, what's good, you know.
yeah,
So I think those
I
sports
don't.
are so hard to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd say
out of
like
season.
we're obviously not one of the favorites in hockey. But I say now since Russia is away, it's like Sweden, US, Canada, Finland is usually like the big four.
Chopping it up
I mean,
in
if
the
we
mix.
don't, if we don't make it to the semis, it's then we have underperformed.
Yeah, failure. Well,
Failure.
Andreas, thanks for always taking the time to chop it up, to chat, specifically being flexible, scheduling this so late. And yeah, appreciate you, man. Congrats on all the success. And I have a feeling 2026 is going to be the best year yet for you. So keep crushing it, keep the momentum coming. And also just a thank you as a fan of the sport, as a fan of yours, for being so open. I think for so many years, fans of the sport have struggled to connect and relate to the top figures. And I've always appreciated our conversations, and even just what I see on social media, your openness to share the journey. That's ultimately what inspires the next generation. So keep crushing it, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's always nice talking to you.